This fat man is on his first business trip to India, but he accidentally notices a little beggar pathetically following him everywhere. So the fat man pulls some money out of his pocket and gives it to the beggar while insulting him. However, the fat man never expected that the beggar not only understood his insulting words, but also threw all the money he gave him onto the ground. It's unclear how much time passed, but the fat man while in the airport bathroom suddenly noticed the same little beggar who took his money had mysteriously followed him here. Furious, the fat man put away his newspaper. He was about to rush out and teach the greedy beggar a lesson when the beggar suddenly unleashed a burst of strength and knocked him down despite his 800-pound weight. Then in a bizarre turn, the beggar forcibly dragged the fat man out of the bathroom. At this point, the fat man's flight had landed at the airport. The fat man, accompanied by a hotel bellboy, walked into his hotel room looking dazed. The bellboy quickly moved his luggage in, but the fat man, out of breath, sat down on the bed. Then inexplicably large amounts of blood began to flow from his body, quickly staining the hotel's white sheets, and his eyes turned a strange shade of red. The next day, when the police arrived at the hotel, there were no signs of a struggle or indications that the fat man had been infected with a virus. They only found a set of fingerprints at the corner of the sheet, which looked like the size of a child's palm. They had no idea where these fingerprints came from. However, after Dana performed the autopsy on the fat man, she discovered that most of his internal organs had been bizarrely ruptured. What baffled Dana even more was, although the fat man clearly died in the hotel room last night, the time of death she calculated was actually before he boarded his flight. The next day, Agent Doug called the Indian consulate to inquire about any related cases. They learned that 3 weeks ago an American businessman named Blaze had died in the same manner in a hotel. When Dana checked Blaze's autopsy report, she was shocked to find that Blaze's weight was 238 pounds, but his passport listed it as 205 pounds. There was a difference of exactly 33 pounds. Unfortunately, the fat man's body had already been cremated by then. Otherwise, Dana was sure his weight would also have been 33 pounds more. Dana believed the thing that killed them was something very small, able to freely enter and exit their bodies, like some kind of parasitic stowaway, which explained why the fingerprints looked like they belonged to a child.